Today I'm in a village called Radwell, which is in the heart of the Bedfordshire countryside on the bridge over the River Great Ouse. The river is looking absolutely stunning today, teeming with life. Obviously the sunshine isn't exactly what I would choose for classic landscape photography, but we don't always get to choose the time we've got available, so I'm going to make the best of it. So let's see how I get on. And I've just lost that intense sunlight for a second, but this shot I'm going to try and capture that wavy motion. Obviously there won't be any motion in a still photograph. That would be, well, I suppose it would be if I was using the live function on an iPhone, but I'm just going to try and get that function, that with some of the background scenery in. Now, because I'm over water, I have put my camera strap on, and I prefer to shoot without a strap because it really annoys me. And I'm just going to start off here about a stop underexposed, and straight away that's looking quite nice. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm just going to go a little wider. There's a bit of this, I don't know if you can see it in the camera there, but there is some what I imagine to be debris from when the river was in flood all up against the bridge. And as interesting as it might make some kind of black and white composition, it's not what I want in the picture today. In fact, it's quite jarring. I'm really just interested in that lush green, and from this angle there isn't too much reflection on the water. I do have a polarizer in my bag, but frankly, if I don't have to be bothered now, it's just a fraction overexposed, and I don't want to come down too low. I've got a little bit of blinky in the sky, but I reckon if I came down even another stop, I'd struggle, because it's the white of the cloud up there, and that's just going to have to remain. I can live with a little bit of highlight blowing. There are two enormous fish below me right now. If I had to guess, three enormous fish below me now. They've just seen me and they've scarpered. Little ones don't seem so bothered, but the big ones, I suppose that's how you get to be a big fish, is just by staying out of the way of human beings, if at all possible. I could really stand here all afternoon and just watch this weed waving. It's a shame about the traffic coming by behind me, because otherwise it's absolutely idyllic. I need to walk a little bit further onto the bridge. I really want to try and get a shot from over there. So I'm hoping that you've seen all that waving about that I've done. This shot, I'm going over to landscape. Doesn't look quite so dynamic. I'm not getting the dark greens that are below me. So I'm just going to swing back to portrait fashion, and there it is. And I could do with a little more speed just to be sure that I'm freezing. That waviness. I'm just going to come back off the bridge for a second, because there are cars looking to pass each other. I'm just going to up the ISO while they're doing that. I'm only going to go to 400, and I'm going to take the shutter speed up to 1/250th, which will be enough, I'm sure. It was probably okay at 1/60th, but I'm interested to see. The traffic here is really, I can't take a chance on people's goodwill. The bridge is quite narrow. Many people are passing with caution, but not everybody is. So looks like there's a window. Here I go again, going right out, and I'm coming right back to this darker weed down here. Somewhere here I was. Probably won't find a spot again. That'll do. Yeah. Still getting the blinkies, more traffic. Back off the bridge again. Just let this guy pass. And there's a van coming now. Even less chance of me not ending up as photographer jam on the wall of the bridge. So I'm just going to wait. I'm not in any big hurry. And I'm just going to follow him out onto the bridge. And this time I'm just going to walk a little further across. This does mean that this tree here, I hope you can see where I'm pointing, is going to encroach into the shot. I still might be able to make that work. Not sure. Not really. I'm going to take the shot because I'm here. But that was shot number 17. More traffic coming. I'll head back to the camera. This is coming at a bit of a pace, so I'm just going to get out of the way. This is one of the downsides to desperately trying to get a picture of another car, is it does break the rhythm. Normally I would just camp out in a spot and just keep tweaking the composition as I go along, but that's not something I've got the luxury of today. Perhaps if I came back at a quieter time of day, I don't know when that would be necessarily, not during daylight hours anyway. So what else can I get from here? These, there is a name for these. Actually, I've got my own shadow in that picture, which is not really what I want. Might be able to find a way to remove myself, zoom a little bit, I think is going to be the answer. More cars. Give me a chance to review that picture and see whether it has any merit at all. A little bit on the bright side, to be honest. Not going to work. Just for a second, I'm just going to take a breather of the back, from the backwards and forwards, and just shoot the parapets from here. And actually this is quite a nice composition, even in this light. I'm just going to, nice blue and white van coming through. And I'm just going to underexpose this 2/3 of a stop. And I'm going to check the histogram on that. No, I'm quite happy with that. That's one time. So what else have we got here? So I'm going back out onto the bridge again. Just need to remember that. No, another car. He's still with me. Kind of losing the will to live myself a little bit, because I could see a picture and I know, quite interested now that I'm looking closer, that these reeds that are laying on top are just going to add. I need a little more. Two shots there, another car coming in. So I think it's time to try something else now. So that was quite a bit of effort just to get some relatively simple shots of the river itself, and just taking a breather now from dodging traffic, and I'm watching this diving bird. I think it's a tern of some description, black-headed I would guess, given that the markings on its cap. It's coming quite close, and I'm watching it diving down into the water. I'm not really sure what it's after. You'd think fish, but it's not coming up with anything. It seems to be chasing perhaps these mayflies that are on the surface of the water. That seems to be what it's going for, but it's beautiful to watch. So that's one of the great things about photography. You don't always have to be taking photographs. You can just stop from it. Now, he was a little longer down there. You probably heard him squeak. No, he hasn't got anything because he's still looking. He's right at me. There he goes. He might have even come right at the camera there. I hope he did. Look forward to seeing that later. If he did, that'd be quite something. So next thing I'm going to do, there's a little spot down just below where the video camera is now, and I can get a little closer to the water's edge. Actually, just bear with me 1 second because I can see 2 fish. No, I'm not going to. Much as I'm fascinated by the fish, it's not really a picture. I said 2, there's 3 or 4 of them. Again, just peeking out from the shade into the sunlight, backing in and out. Absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I'd like to get down a little closer to the water. Also want to try and get to that side of the bridge, and it might not be so easy. Actually, it might be easier there. We'll see. Let's see how we get on. So now I'm looking downstream, and there are more of the weeds and reeds, and this time they're waving away from me, and with the light in a different direction, I'm just going to get out of the way. Doesn't seem happy. I'm just the light's in a different direction. It's now away to my left and high up there, so it's giving a different look to the reeds. And again, this might be an underexposure job. I've got about time to get 1 shot before I get run over. Didn't see that one coming, and there's another one coming from my left now, so go back to that. I don't know whether I actually got the camera set the way I wanted it to. I think what I might have to do here, something I should have done sooner, was just put it on AV. I've been using the camera in manual mode, which is always my preference, but actually with time being what it is, dodging between, I'm just going to zoom it up a little bit. Some nice clouds in the sky, just breaking up the blue, and I've not overexposed the sky, so that's quite nice. That's a very simple shot. I think I'm going to walk on, just see if I can. No, there's another car coming at speed. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is pretty tedious. This one is flying. If she gets it wrong, and not even the wall's going to protect me. And another one from the right. As I was saying, this is tedious, and I'm sorry. So those two nearly had a coming together. And here we go, back out onto the bridge and back off the bridge again. Will I, won't I? This is a question, right? Well, I'm probably out of sight of the camera at the minute, and I'm just looking to see whether I can include the bridge in the composition, but I can't really. It's really not doing anything for me flat across it. We've got some deeper water here on this side of the river, and we've got a nice tree, and we've got the daisies in the background, so this I think is quite nice. I'm just given up moving. It's too far to go in each direction. Right, I want it just to lower the... You may even be in this shot. No, that's just... I'm in the wrong position. I need to come back. I want more of the river. What I was getting from where I was, just that 6 feet, is making a difference. So much more of this tree is in the shot, which is not what I'm looking for. I've got some reeds in the bottom left-hand corner of the picture there, which I'd rather not have. I'd rather just have pure river. And I don't know whether I can dole them out by coming forward a little bit more. Yeah, maybe. I've got... Headed for sanctuary again. Have to wonder whether the microphone is actually transmitting far enough. That one blew out on the sky. That was image number 29, sky complete goner. I can probably take a little more shadow on this, so I'm going to drop 2/3 of a stop. And see how I get on, because in contrast to the other point where I mentioned that the sky was blown out, that was a small portion of the picture. This is very much a silver lined cloud. I'm loving how the river is looking at the bottom of the frame, and it's really important I try and keep some detail in there without having to raise the shadows too much. Highlights are gone again, but that's as low as I'm prepared to go. So if I end up with some really soft hazy white on the top half of the picture, I'm not going to lose too much sleep about that. I think it'll still make a nice picture. So that's enough of that shot for now. So I managed to get down quite close to the water's edge now, and there is a bit of potential right across there. This is such a nice scene. And great thing about still photography is that passing cars from a noise perspective really don't enter into it. So that first shot, 500th of a second, f13, lucky for some. Don't think I'm going to do any better than that. Some very strong blues in the sky, some nice clouds breaking up that blue. It's a little on the dark side. I'll be able to lift it. Perhaps I can just bring that underexposure back 1/3 of a stop, just to make sure that I'm getting the best out of the foreground there, which got these lovely reeds again right across the foreground. Nice texture there. And I'm just looking around now for a different composition. The bridge is obviously the main feature, and I haven't really got a great picture of the bridge in its entirety. It sort of appears at odd points in the images that I've taken over the last hour or so. I have got a wide angle, or a wider angle lens in the car, which is not so far away. From up here, and I realise I'm out of shot of video camera at the moment. I've got much more of the bridge here, but I've also got, there's a house over there, and without being unkind, I just don't like it. It's a nicer house than mine, but I don't like it in the frame. So I'm not really making a judgment on that person's house. The reeds are really starting to dominate the bridge, and I'm not getting the arches in. So I reckon I just need to play around with this a little bit. If I go forward a bit, this area here is already worked down for whatever reason. Somebody's been in and out of the water here, I guess, on a regular occasion, and so I'm not really doing any harm. There's not much growing here, but I'm reluctant to go into the undergrowth and start destroying the habitat. And from a safety point of view, I don't know how viable it actually is. I think I've got to come up a little bit just to lose the reeds and stay on the left. And I might just have to live with the idea that that house is there on the wide angle end. It's not so bad. I want to include the river as well, which means losing, I think, yeah, I'm going to lose that arch, which I'm not too fussed about. I'm not too fussed about that arch. So I get 1, 2, 3 of the bigger arches and the 2 smaller ones at the end. Interestingly enough, from here I also get the village sign for Radwell in the background. Not that it's really going to feature in this picture in any way. I want to just go a little bit more, just take a little bit more of this space, stand up straight. Lots of green in that picture. Green is my nemesis. I can bring that exposure up a little bit, although the sun has just picked up again just a little bit. Yeah, green is my nemesis. I just can't get green right in my finished pictures. So today will be another challenge on that. But, you know, the scene is dominated by green, and so that's what I've got. I'm just looking around to see if I've overlooked an opportunity. I'm just going to step out of frame for a bit, come over here closer to the bridge itself, and just see how it looks. And I can get a nice angle down the bridge, but the bridge looks awkward. It's just a bit too fat at the front of the frame, if that makes any sense. And going wide, but this is quite nice. If I spin right, there is a sign which says that basically you're not allowed to do anything here, and who's got the fishing rights. And it's probably a better composition with a sign in the picture, so I'm going to take that picture now, and then I'm just going to take one pace left, recompose without it, and actually I'm just going to come the other side of the camera. For whatever reason I don't like that as much, so let me just show you that sign quickly. You can see it there, and I think we're all done here for a second. So I've had an amazing time here for the last hour or two. The weather is faultless. Not quite a perfect blue sky, but to be honest with you, I'd rather it was that way. This was a completely new spot for me. I don't think I've even travelled through here on the way to anywhere else over the long time that I've lived in Bedfordshire. But a stunning little place. To wrap up on the pictures that I've taken, well, of course I can't say what they're going to be until I get them back and open them up on the desktop, but I'm quite optimistic that there's plenty of good material here. Obviously you saw me dodging backwards and forwards between the cars. That's all the fun of photography, really. I've managed to survive it, but on that note, that's really why I probably wouldn't come back here. I'm working unnecessarily hard, and there are plenty of other opportunities. So thanks if you've watched this far, and see you again.